Hey, it's Sammy for another episode of the IdOMUSIC podcast, and our goal and our mission is to empower and educate musicians and artists worldwide. And on today's episode, we're sitting down with Grammy Award-winning producer Drumma Boy Fresh, discussing how his family and hometown influenced his sound, being a pioneer of trap music, and having several business ventures outside of the music industry. All right, you're now listening to the IdOMUSIC podcast. I'm sitting down with Grammy Award-winning Drumma Boy, producer. Yes, awesome. You're a veteran to the South and just to music overall. You've done a lot. And now, I guess I want to start with the foundation. How you doing, first off?
Man, everything is a blessing, man. Being able to wake up, I'm good. I'm unbreakable.
He came with the Super Bowl energy.
Oh, come on, man. And I ain't play a game. I ain't play a minute, man. I'm juiced. I'm just excited about life. I'm playing the game every day in my own life.
I feel that. We're going to get into a lot of all of your inspiration that I see on your social media.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
For sure.
For sure. So let's start from the beginning. You, as many people know, grew up in a really musical family. You had that foundation from the beginning.
Absolutely. Shout out to mom. Shout out to pops.
Yes. So did you feel like, did you already predict that your life was just going to be surrounded by music from the beginning? Like, did you feel like you could make a living from music just based upon what your parents were doing?
I felt like I could make a living with music just based off what I was doing. So, I was inspired and motivated by my parents, but I knew I would take it to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like, how like, okay, for instance, LeBron James, his son, play basketball, like, any of the athletes, their sons may play the same sport and they feel like they're kind of forced into it. Did you feel like you were forced into music, or is it just something that was inevitable for you?
I mean, like, it might be my sign or it might be something, but, like, of course my dad wanted me to follow his footsteps, wanted me to be in the orchestra. Could have been in the orchestra, play first chair clarinet.
Me too.
And
we had a lot in common.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Always Tennessee bands, I made that, you know what I'm saying? And I started doing like varsity basketball.
Okay.
So I was like, this band shit cool, but like I'm not spending the rest of my life playing somebody else's music. So that was my whole thing. Like my dad loves the orchestra and love what he do, and he teaches music, fundamental music theory, appreciation, University of Memphis, blah, blah, blah. All that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I look at how much money musicians make. And it's underappreciated.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to like write my own music. I would go to the orchestras every night. We didn't have babysitters and whatnot, so I would go to the orchestra every night or the rehearsals and whatnot. And I always respect the conductor. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this the dude in control of all the instruments. You know what I'm saying? The violins, the violas, the cellos, the trumpets, trombones, whatever the instrument was, and he in control of the whole thing. I was like, man, I always respected the conductor. And I could identify each one of the instruments. So like my older brother was making beats.
Mm-hmm.
So like growing up in Memphis with a clarinet, it wasn't really just like
the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up getting into fights and beating cats up with the clarinet case or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember one time, a couple cats trying to jump me, man. I beat 3 of these niggas down with a clarinet case, you know what I'm saying?
He was out here.
They call him my dad. He thinking some good news, whatnot, and it's just a whole different situation. So I ended up getting in a lot of different trouble, whatnot. And like 13, my mama moved me to the suburbs. So that's another life-changing event, going from like South Memphis to, you know what I'm saying, man, shit, man, fuck that shit, man. You know?
Right.
Oh my God, yeah, totally. Like being able to entertain white America, Chinese, like, you know what I'm saying, Korean, like any culture, and just, it was just very diverse in the area, you know what I mean? And I met all kind of different friends, whatnot, and I just related to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air the whole time, just always staying fresh, always, creative with new ideas. Of course, I was the class clown, making people laugh, but I did my work though. So I'm the class clown. After I turned in my test, how you gonna be mad at me? So the teachers were like, man, you smart, but you still a fool too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So they had to find ways to like keep me busy. So I was like one of the office workers. I ran all of the errands for the principal, and you know what I'm saying, just doing anything and everything I could really to just stay busy for real. You know what I mean? And basketball was another piece of the puzzle, and making beats. So when I moved to Cordova, I started making bass tapes and selling like $100 bass tapes. You know what I'm saying? And all of the kids out there had new cars, new speakers, you know what I'm saying, the Alpine systems and whatnot.
So they needed that.
Yeah, they needed them. They wanted to show it off. A lot of kids would come to school late, just you hear, man, where you get the tape coming from? Where you get the tape from? Drumma Boy, Drumma Boy, Drumma Boy, Drumma Boy. Name started popping. I did the warm-ups for all the varsity games at the home court. And just started, you know what I'm saying, getting out there. I remember bumping into Yo Gotti, bumping into 8-Ball, MJG, Juicy J. My brother was a barber, and I always cut like all the top celebrities in the city. So I was sweet for him, you know what I'm saying? Like during the weekend, 14, 15, making a little extra change. And I remember meeting Juicy J, DJ Paul. They had came in and got a haircut. And it's just like taking the relationships and taking the people I know, you know what I'm saying, and seeing my brother making beats with Jazzy Faye and, you know what I'm saying, 3 6 Mafia. I was like, man, if I take what I know from here and put that in the, like, rap, you know what I'm saying, it's a whole different ballgame. I'm going to start making beats. Started making beats, and I did like 4 tracks on Gotti ever first album called Life.
I know, yeah.
And then just went from that to Tila, Double Dose. Did 3 songs on Double Dose album. Got a call from Pastor Troy, did Pop That Pussy, and Off in This Game on DSGB album. And that was like my first.
15.
I was like 17 on the DSGB. It's probably like 17, 18.
Let me ask you, so you actually ended up attending college at University of Memphis. And like, why, or if you were doing all of that so early, why was it important for you to go to college, or was that your decision to go to school?
Well, my pop never knew I made beats.
Oh, okay.
So I ain't even say nothing to him. All I wanted to do was make my name as big as possible. So by the time he found out, it was like, it was cool. You know what I'm saying, to an extent. So I went to school really just for my mom, my pops, you know what I'm saying, and majored in music business just to keep them, you know what I'm saying, like, happy for a second. Right. And, you know what I'm saying, I just made Pastor Troy album. Right after that album, I got a call from Block ENT. You know what I'm saying, did a couple tracks on Boys in the Hood. After that, Jeezy went solo. You know what I mean? And Jeezy's like, man, I'm finna do the album, da-da-da-da-da, woo-doo-doo-doo. And I remember getting a standing ovation placement. That was like my first platinum plaque. And around that time was like the same time I get a notice from the University of Memphis. Like, this my junior year in high school, in college. And they like, you kicked out due to unattendance. So I had like a 6 months leave. Oh, wow. So the whole time I'm in Atlanta anyway, like, you know what I'm saying, moving around, making more placements and whatnot. I think White Girl, it just came out. So I'm like moving, you know what I mean? And my dad calls me out of nowhere like 3 months into the 6 months. It's like, man, what's going on, man? I just got this letter. I just found out he cool with the dean of the university, so it's embarrassing for him. He called me like, man, it's embarrassing, da-da-da-da. Where you at? I don't care where you at. I need to talk to you, man. I need you to pull up and talk to me face to face. I'm in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? He thinking I just got out of school. So I'm like, all right, I'll be there later on tonight. I got you. Call him, finally get into Memphis. Go out to the crib. And he basically like, man, sit down, man. What are you doing? What's up with you? What's up with your grades, man? You flunking basketball? You know what I'm saying? Like the sports education or whatever, the little gym class or whatever, like all the little classes.
Stuff you were interested in.
Yeah, he knew. He was like, man, you varsity D1, D2 scholarships. Like, what's going on with you? What you doing with your time? And I'm like, man, I make beats. Like I just came back from Atlanta right now. Like, pulled out $10,000. I just picked up 10 bands, man. Picked up 8,000 for Pastor Troy. Before I could even get out the city, somebody gave me a deposit for another beat. Like, it's 10 bands right there. Like, I'm Drumma Boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he just looking at me like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man, you ain't gonna do nothing doing that. You ain't gonna be nothing doing that. You need to get back in school, da-da-da. Like, I can't be in school. I got kicked out, Pop, so I got 3 months. So I'm on my business, you know what I'm saying? Right. He's like, long story short, you ain't got no debit card. You ain't got no bank account. You ain't got no credit card. You can't buy your mama the house you want. You can't buy your mama the car she want. Like, what you doing? I was like, I'm hustling. I'm grinding. I'm getting where I need to be on Drumma Boy, man. I got this song. I got this song. I got Yo Gotti. I'm huge out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't caring about that.
Oh, so you the big bad wolf now, huh? Oh, okay. All right, well, check this out. Show me 100,000 in your account in a year. Oh, I'm going to beat your ass. And I'm going to put you back in school.
You did it.
Man, 10 months later, came in that junk like, what? What you was saying? You know what I mean? And man, we've been best friends ever since.
That's what's up.
It's crazy. So it's just been like a process, like earning everybody's approval, so to speak. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm gonna do what I want to do regardless, and work towards that,
Right.
whether you know it or not. And then like once you catch up or once I get your approval, just like getting GQ approval.
Yeah.
Or getting Rolling Stones approval. Like, damn, I finally
Got
made a
placement,
GQ.
yeah.
As fresh as I've been all this time, like, damn, okay, we just now getting in GQ. You know what I'm saying? We just now getting Rolling Stone. Like, you know what I mean? So when you do it for the accolades, it feel like it takes forever. You know what I'm saying? It's like the slowest thing. Just like finding out about some Grammys. Like my manager called me like, yo, you know you got 2 Grammys from 2010. I'm like, for real? Like we couldn't have done no party then. We couldn't have celebrated then.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but when you don't do it for the accolades, you find out later. That's how busy a nigga been working. Like that's how moving forward I always am. Moving forward. Now in the future, we probably have like 20, 30 Grammys just because of like the work we put in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm still working hard. You know what I'm saying? Like thinking I ain't got no Grammy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, just focus on the work.
So let's talk about the fact that by your junior year, you were already working with really big acts, or prior to even, you know, regardless of the college experience, you were already working with like Bun B, Scarface, all of the artists you just named. Pretty big acts to date, but even at that time, how were you doing this? And was it intimidating, or were you just hungry and didn't notice at the time? Like, to be working with these people, I'm sure you were younger than them, no? Or y'all around?
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, man. I was a kid. Like, I'm 15, 16. Bun B was like 30.
Right, like,
you know what I'm saying?
full
Everybody
grown.
was, my brother 14 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? So Jazzy, Faye, Carlos, Brody, Slice T, like that whole, I'm still like the kid, the little brother. You know what I'm saying?
But to be in studios or to be in these run-ins with these grown men, at the time, was it intimidating, or you didn't notice? Like, were you just hungry?
I ain't noticed nothing. I'm just like a kid with beats, push and play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing mattered but the play button. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, man, age, you know what I'm saying, elders or whatever, like rap, like you a OG. I like the music, you know what I'm saying? Everybody listening to UGK, like these, you know what I'm saying, Bun B reaching out, like, you know what I'm saying? I had just bumped into Pimp C and then we lost Pimp. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying, I was able to like kick it with Pimp. Pimp was able to feel my spirit. I was able to feel his spirit. Like I'm sitting in the office with Rap A Lot trying to sign me. He just paid me $7,500. You know what I'm saying? Slim Thug called me, spent some bread. You know what I mean? I do stacking paper with him and Jody Breeze. You know what I mean? So it was just a blessing to be like, Drum Boy, boy, he got the heat, Drum Boy, man, it's a new cat out of Memphis, man, Drum Boy. It's like whoever wanted, whoever got, I feel like the dope boy. That's where the dope boy fresh, the D boy fresh, Drumma Boy fresh, the evolution of fresh and just giving you a fresh pack, everything, and you know what I'm saying? It's clean, it's like fresh out the package. Like when you get something brand new, fresh out the pack, you appreciate it.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? When you get a custom-made suit tailored to you, you appreciate it as opposed to going to K&G or somewhere and getting one of them little 2-for-1s or 3-for-1s. Or, you know what I mean? So anything tailored, that's kind of like how I came in the game, tailor making whatever you want. Your bass tape, my boy said he wanted all his stuff up-tempo. You know what I'm saying? My other boy, he want his bass tape slow, man. I need the slow ride. I want to feel like, I bet, you know what I'm saying? And then just understanding the sounds, like Houston sound, they want it slower. New York, they want everything fast, club, up-tempo, you know what I'm saying? West Coast, you know what I'm saying?
Like
we waving, you know what I'm saying? And then down south, like, we just like to thump. We just like to, as long as it's hidden, we cool. Slow, fast, medium, we don't care. We like it all. We just be riding.
That's real. So you talked a lot about linking up with a lot of your hometown MCs at the time. Of course, like Gotti being on there, Gangsta Boo, like, and just making a name for yourself in your city and Atlanta, and just like all over the South at the time. Now, where did the name Drumma Boy come from, and like how did you cultivate that brand for yourself?
Man, it's crazy. My first job in Memphis was just for feet, selling shoes. And I remember my boy Arthur Sidney, he was like, man, I can get you a job at just for feet, man, but they gonna start you off in the combat zone, boy. The Bobos up in the combat zone, boy. It's hard to sell that shit up there, boy, but you do good up there. they gonna move you back to the shoe deck. You know what I'm saying? So I like, all right, bet. It's all good. Man, I was in the combat zone for 3 days before I damn near sold out the whole combat zone. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, damn, that boy can sell anything, man. So I moved back to the shoe deck, and they were talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he came to me like, man, I know you ain't gonna just make beats your whole life. I know you ain't gonna make beats the rest of your life. So I was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was like, I know you ain't gonna sell shoes the rest of your life, whatnot. So I was like, nah, like I make beats. I'm doing other things, you know what I'm saying? I play on the varsity basketball team, whatnot. So he was like, all right, man, you make beats? Man, bring a tape up here tomorrow. We got a tape player in the back. So I was like, all right, next day, come up there with a tape, you know what I'm saying? And I started playing beats and whatnot. And it's crazy because, like, he came back there and, like, one of the other workers from the shoe deck came back to the back where we do inventory. And I'm just playing beats and whatnot. And then another one of the workers stopped what he doing, come back there, man, what that is? What that is right there, man? What that is right there? What that is? You know what I'm saying? Another one of the workers come back there. Another one of the workers. Next thing you know, like the whole shoe deck empty. You know what I'm saying? From workers. And everybody back in the back listening to beats. Whatnot. Man, your beat patterns. Man, damn, boy, your drums, boy. Man, when you made that.
It's something they hadn't heard before.
And the drum pattern, man, we're going to call you Drumma Boy. Boy, you sound like you play drums? Boy, it sound like you play the drums just because of the patterns I was using and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And the manager came back there and was like, man, break this up. We got people on the shoes, like we got people on the deck with shoes in their hand trying to get sizes and ain't nobody helping them and whatnot. He's like, man, I need y'all to get back to work. He was like, by the way, type music. And this a white dude. This an old, you know what I'm saying, 45-year-old white dude. Like, man, hey, keep doing what you're doing. And this some rap beats. And for him to compliment me on, I was like, damn, okay. Everybody else was like, man, bro, keep doing that shit, bro. Keep doing that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, we're gonna give you the name Drumma Boy. But ironically, on the Christmas tree, I had been putting an ornament on the Christmas tree since like 3 or 4, the little Drumma Boy. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And that was from my grandmama. So it was crazy. I was like, damn, if my grandmama saw that in me then, it might be something I can run with. You know, of course, get rid of that little. Right. You know what I'm saying? And take that ER off, you know what I'm saying? And shit ran with it.
That's what's up. Yeah, because I was like, you know, from playing the clarinet to like, you know, I played the clarinet. I didn't really have, I tried out for percussion. It just wasn't for me. So to have that talent, you know, all around musically just shows a lot about you. People who play percussion instruments always amaze me because I'm like, you keeping it alive. You keeping it alive. So that's
that
dope.
woodwind family.
Yeah, I love the clarinet. It's beautiful instrument. Anyways, let's talk about the hits because obviously you made only hits. Yes. So Gucci photo shoot from Waka's No Hands. You've done some stuff with August Alsina, Migos, and the list goes on and on and on. My fave is definitely Jeezy's Put On. Because obviously he's talking about putting on for the city. Then Ye got on there. Did you know it was a hit when you made it? Like, do you already have that, like, inkling that this is going to be a hit?
Man, like, it's crazy. Like, I put the emotions into the music. You know what I mean? And when I made that I Put On beat, I had already made White Girl for Jeezy. Then I came back with Flexin' for Jeezy. And then we came back with, I think it was like one more record that came out, Standing Ovation. And then I Put On was like on the next album. And Jeezy just texts my phone, like, it's crazy the chemistry me and Jeezy got, like, because he'll tell me, like, man, I need a new pack, man, I need some new heat. And as soon as he hit me, like, normally you would already have beats ready for Jeezy. But I, like, kind of wait till he hits me and then make something right there on spot. So every time Jeezy would hit me, he'd be like, man, I need a new pack, man, where you at later? I'd be like, man, I'm going to be at the McDonald's. I'm going to meet you at the McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? We always actually meet at this McDonald's right next to Patchwerk.
That's crazy.
Super crazy. And it was like 5 hours later, so I had cooked up like 2 beats right on the spot. You know what I mean? And at that particular time, I think like one of my team, I think the Grizzlies or somebody had just lost. So I was pissed off. I'm like, oh, man, y'all supposed to beat them folks. And all of the energy that the Grizzlies should have had that night in that game, I put that in that beat.
I feel you.
Like, that's what I wanted my city to do. I put on what my city. That's the mentality I wanted the team to have at that particular time. Like, I'm looking at Z-Bo, I'm looking at Mike Conley, look like, man, how we lose this game, bro? You know what I mean? And I put that energy into that beat.
Yeah.
And that's why the beat just so crunk. But that's why I feel Memphis. Like, a lot of times Jeezy be like, boy, this feel like Memphis, boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of music in the South and the trap sound is highly driven from a Memphis beat pattern. You know what I mean? And if you look at what is going on now, like the new G-Eazy joint with Cardi B and, you know, just all the music dropping right now, it's a heavy influence of 3 6 Mafia.
Definitely.
Heavy influence of Juicy J, beat patterns, Lil Peasy. One of the engineers for 3 6 Mafia back then, he did a lot of beats, you know what I'm saying? It's heavy influence of DJ Squeaky, heavy influence of Drumma Boy in these in Atlanta sound and in the South.
Yeah, overall.
You know what I mean? Even Houston cats be like, man, I need that Memphis drum loop. You know what I mean? Florida, man, I need that Memphis. Everywhere I go, people, man, I need that Memphis drum loop, that Memphis. People forget how much like Memphis has influenced the South. You know what I mean?
And that brings me to another question for you. How has Memphis influenced your sound or the way you create? Like, what exactly is it about the city and the culture of Memphis? Because I'm not from Memphis, obviously.
The city and the culture of Memphis is all genres of music. So if you look at like a Justin Timberlake from Memphis, you look at Al Greens, you look at the Ball and G's, like we got blues. That's what we known for as far as like before rap and hip hop was the blues. We got orchestra, we got country, we got bluegrass, you got R&B, you got gospel. You know what I'm saying? Yolanda Adams and Kirk Whalum and some. No, she's not from Memphis, but just how many times these people have come in and performed and just the sound and you know what I mean? Even on the blues side, the Joyce Cobbs and you know, Elvis Presley from Mississippi but came and resided in Memphis and did different sounds. So even the country right up the street in Nashville and doing a lot of things through Memphis because the studio chains are all owned by the same owners. So it's just a big state of you know, music. It's a music state.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just being from that, having all of those genres of music, like it allowed me to get that music theory, that music appreciation, and be a real musician. So like, you know, when I went to LA for the first time, cats like Quincy Jones invited me to the house, and I'm like having conversations and getting drinks with Quincy, and you know what I mean? Like it's reliving Stacks in a sense, but also like taking the evolution of hip hop to a whole nother level.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And like you look at the influence of just crunk. Like crunk is a Memphis word. Crunk originated from Memphis, in which Lil Jon gives us credit for crunk. You look at how much crunk influenced Lil Jon's sound. You know what I mean? And he just took it to a whole nother level as far as with the dance and having fun with it and whatnot. So, you know what I mean? Like, we been tearing the club up, like 3 6 Mafia, tear the club up, get buck, get crunk. Like, those both Memphis songs.
Yeah.
Get buck mean get crunk. Get crunk mean get lit, get lit. Like, it just keep, you know what I'm saying? New word, evolution, you know what I'm saying? And I remember when, you know, Rocco first started saying, man. He like, what'd you just say? I like, man, shit, man, fuck that shit, man. Man, shit, man, fuck that. You go around Rocco, like, you'll hear him just slip out and be like, man, shit, man. Because he love Memphis, you know what I'm saying? Everybody call us, like, brothers, we look alike, this and that. And it's like, everywhere we would go, he'll bust out talking like me. And then I bust out talking like him. Man, goddamn, fuck that shit, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? And just having fun with just different cultures. I think that's what's super cool about Atlanta is that it's like cultures can be shared. You know what I mean? Detroit, D.C., Oakland, New York, wherever you from and you come down to Atlanta, you can share cultures. And damn, this how y'all do it from where y'all from. Okay, this how we do it.
Right.
Damn, let's mix it up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people call, like, not even a lot of people, but myself, I call my music gumbo. Like, it's just that gumbo. It feel good and it feel your soul and it just stick to you. It ain't no, you know, fast food. It ain't nothing that's, you gonna be hungry for something else later. No, I'm gonna get you right. I'm gonna fix you up.
That's a great analogy. I need me some gumbo.
Yeah.
I sat down. Well, speaking of like the evolution, I wanted to particularly talk about trap because when we have that conversation, your name is usually in that conversation. It should be. So I sat down with, I want to say, and I tried to listen to the podcast again last night to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it was Monte, DJ Monte, his podcast we did last year, and he created some sort of like Mount Rushmore of like the pioneers of trap music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that, he included Shawty Red, you, I want to say Toomp, and Zaytoven, coining you guys like the originators of that sound. Would you agree with that, or is there somebody else that should be included? What do you think? What do you think it started in terms of like producers crafting that sound? Because of course, you know, people put it like T.I. and they talk about Jeezy, they talk about 3-6, they talk about all these rappers.
See, the one thing that you forget is Yo Gotti. So the first trapper that I ever worked with was Yo Gotti.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's the first dude that I only know talking about cocaine day in, day out from day one. I was 15. So look up the ages of all of them other producers outside of DJ Toomp.
Mm-hmm.
That was before me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, and a lot of people just wasn't familiar with Gotti then.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first met Jeezy, and this is before Standing Ovation, this is before Boys in the Hood, trap niggas. It's before any of that. When I first met Jeezy, Jeezy's like, boy, that shit you and Yo Gotti on, that's what I want. From day one, when I first introduced myself to Jeezy in the club with Jeezy and Fabulous, he was with BMF, and Fabulous had just did a remix to one of Jeezy's songs, and he performed it in the club. What was that song that damn.
I didn't tell you, Fab. I don't know nothing about Fab.
Damn, I can't. I like to think of the time period, but it was damn, I can't think. I'm talking about BMF in the club with us. Jeezy had just did a record. It was like one of them New York records or whatnot, and Fabulous came and did the verse.
I wish I could help
Damn,
you.
I can't think right now, man.
It's okay.
It's killing me.
It's gonna come back to you in the middle.
Damn, because if I say it anyway, it's the time period of Trap or Die. So we talking about Trap or Die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? When we linked up again, and like, that's all he would say to me.
I'm curious. I'm like, what
That's
is
all
it?
he was saying. I can't when it in New York, in New York, when they planning in New York, then Jeezy do a version of that.
Yeah, he did do that. Is that Fab? That is Fab. Hold on. Now I'm like on my.
Yeah, we gotta look that up, man. I'm telling you, cause Fab did his verse and performed right there with Jeezy, and ain't nothing but like 300 people, nothing but BMF behind him. And as soon as he got off the show, he was like, boy, you ain't got it. Boy, you ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear nobody talking about that white like Gotti. You know what I'm saying? So from a Memphis standpoint on trap, Gotti was like the first trap rapper that I seen and that I'm working with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing like it's real in real life. This ain't no rap. You know what I'm saying? So going from that to Pastor Troy, from Pastor Troy to Boys in the Hood. And then Boys in the Hood was like the next trap stamp when I did a song back and forth with Jody Breeze and Jeezy. Trap
Is it
niggas.
Do the Damn Thing?
Nah, I think it's the New York record. Yeah,
Do
it's
the
like
Damn
New York.
Thing?
That's what the name of the record was called, Do the Damn Thing?
Sorry, we just had to figure it out because that was going to bother both of us for a while.
For sure.
But that's dope. That's exactly what I wanted out of that question, just your perspective on the not even just the evolution of trap, but like the originators of the trap sound, I think,
okay, if we answered the question officially, I would say the originators of trap, artist-wise, are Gotti, Gucci Mane, T.I., and Jeezy. That's top 4.
Okay.
Period.
What about in terms of producers?
In terms of producers, myself, DJ Toomp, Shawty Red. I gotta throw Fat Boy in there, cause he was around doing, you know what I'm saying? You gotta throw Midnight Black in there.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's quite a few cats that I'm probably leaving out, but I think we touched the boat. Zaytoven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He did buku work with Gucci. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to leave anybody out. I'm really trying to think like who was really getting to it then like that. Cause Toont was always on the radio when I was coming to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? That's like the OG, the big homie. You know what I'm saying? And of course Jazzy Faye. Seeing Jazzy was more on the pimp player flavor. You know what I mean?
He was kicking a different flavor.
Yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? John was on the crunk, but yeah, the trap producers, I had to say, Shawty Red, myself, Zaytoven, DJ Toont, and again, I throw in Midnight Black.
That's what's up. I can agree with that. I can agree with that at least. And that's pretty much y'all had some of the same mentions in that as well. So that's dope. How I want to ask how.
And then you got to throw in Nitty. I throw in Nitty just because he was on the verge of like the player crunk, but then he still had trap beats.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And Nitty was always opening the door for me, allowing me to come in the studio, make beats, introducing me to cats, man. Shout out to Nitty Beats for sure.
That's what's up. I want to ask you, how has it changed sonically over the years? Like in terms of course, like the way you may produce your beats today versus when you first started, but also just like how does it sound differently to you, like with the new age producers? Is there a difference, or are they still incorporating some of the same things you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, the trap today is like super dope. I love Metro Boomin. You know what I'm saying? We talk all the time, and you know what I'm saying? Him coming up, I was one of the cats who would just, you know, motivate him. And you know what I'm saying? I rapped on like a lot of his tracks. I did one junk called First of the Month featuring Future. You know what I mean? On Welcome to My City Volume 2. Yep. So, you know, I always been supporting the M16, Metro Boomin, Lex Luger, you know what I'm saying? Talk to him and just get him inspiration. Mike Will, another, you know what I'm saying, homie that I would, you know, talk to, and just, you know what I'm saying, just people would come up to me and tell me how much I motivate them and inspire them. Like Sonny Digital, every time I see him, he like, man, bro, can I get you a drink? Bro, can I get you anything, man? You the OG, bro. Like, damn, bro, I came up growing up. I remember 12, boy, when them, man, everything I hear on the radio, John, what? Listen to this track, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it just, it made me feel good. And it's like, damn, dog, it's crazy because, like, I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a kid, bro. Like, oh, okay, I'm in my early 20s, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my mid-20s, bam, and it's like, you know, just hitting my 30s. It's like just crazy, just really starting to, like, not necessarily say get the game, but I'm like, it's like everything, I'm just now really getting into it, like where I understand it all in entirety. Like, I've been around the world 3-4 times. They say it take you 3 or 4 times to go around the world. And Birdman once told me, like, son, it's going to take you 5 or 6 years just to go around the United States 3 times. You know what I mean? Like, I've been to every major city, every major state, popping, all the program directors, all the radio stations, and, you know what I mean, just doing the groundwork, paying your dues, and really, like, owning what you say you do. You know what I mean? And then getting put to the test in all of these different ways and different places and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Some people doing background checks on you. Some people got down calling folks they know from Memphis. Man, what's up with that nigga Drumma Boy, man? He really, what he say? Woo, da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? And when you can get approved in all these different areas, I don't care what area it is, where we in LA, we in New York, we in, you know what I'm saying? And then they know that I pay homage. I respect the local areas. I respect the OGs. I respect, you know, the new up and coming. You know what I mean? And whatever we can do to assist and help in the careers, that's why I've been so important in the hip hop game throughout my career, is because I'm all in and I'm always ready.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? To attack whatever city we in, we got the heat, we getting it done, we creating the hits.
Let's talk about that then. Like in terms of you talk about like basically like forging relationships. In an interview I read of yours with Billboard, you said relationships are a key ingredient to a successful, or to remaining successful rather. How do you sustain all of your relationships that you forged over the years, being that you've been well traveled and you've worked with a lot of different people, I can imagine it's hard to, you know, keep in touch with anybody. That's just like trying to keep in touch with your family, being busy. But how do you maintain those relationships to stay relevant or remain relevant and successful?
I think one way I've stayed, you know, in touch with everybody is that I've had like the same number since I came to Atlanta. I still got the 404 number, and like Gucci, certain guys just know that number by heart. You know what I'm saying? So I remember when Gucci got out this last time, and he hit my phone immediately, and his lawyers hitting his phone like, man, we're trying to get you approved, man, to come to the house. I was one of the first visitors to go see Gucci when he got out. So that's how I got the song All My Children with him so quick, you know what I mean? And just, you know, jump back in just like we never missed out. That's and I posted pictures at the house and whatnot, and how he had notebook papers and all that pinned up on the wall. And, you know, it's just a blessing, like just having relationships with certain guys that you really came through and changed their life. You know what I'm saying? The first song I ever did was Photo Shoot for Gucci. And it was crazy because me and Gucci was in the lobby waiting on Big Cat to pay us. You know what I'm saying? And this is my first time meeting Gucci. He had just came back from Birmingham or something, like, man, I'm in Atlanta now. You know what I mean? And he was in the office with Big Cat. I think Big Cat was about to sign him. I was there picking up a check for Young Sneed. You know what I mean? And nobody ever knew. Like, I used to tell people, like, man, I sold the original Standing Ovation beat. You know what I mean? But that was who I sold the original Standing Ovation beat to. You know, it's 10 years later, so we can,
we can talk about it.
Yeah. But Jeezy, I remember Jeezy hit me like, man, who you sell the beat to, man? Who you sold that beat to, man? Bro, I give him 100,000, man. I'm putting Jay on this beat, man. I need this, man. You on my first album, man. I was like, bro, and at that time, I knew I had to be on Jeezy album, but I started making beats from acapellas. So I used to always tell Coach K. I remember telling Coach K every time I seen him, man, I need them acapellas. Jeezy, man, I need them acapellas, man. I need them acapellas. Now we in a situation where you gotta give me the acapellas.
Yeah.
I sold the other beat. Jeezy is gone. It's like that work, man. It's like that dope pack, man. It's dust, man. It's down the road. I can't do nothing about it, bro. And I think he was hot, but he respected me even more because of how I handled the business. Like I've seen so many producers sell the same beat twice.
I know.
And then they'll worry about their consequence later.
Yeah.
They just so eager to get the money or so eager to get on the album. And then when you getting sued and then this gets taken away from you and you get jumped or some old, you know what I'm saying?
Stuff,
yeah, so it's like I always wanted to like handle my business right, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, fuck the money. The first most important thing for me was the respect.
Definitely.
And that's what I earned from Jeezy at that particular time, respect. Then you get the money. If you ain't got no respect, people ain't gonna pay you.
Definitely.
If people ain't paying you, how the fuck you gonna become powerful?
That's real.
So money, power, respect is cool, but that's more of a song to me. My motto is respect first, then the money, then the power. You know what I mean? And with Jeezy, he was like, man, you come through for me on this, man, I got you. And that turned into those 3 trips when I was staying in Stone Mountain, going back and forth right here to Patchwerk in this exact room. This is where we was mixing Standing Ovation and the whole Thug Motivation 101 right here. Leslie Brathwaite, right here.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? In this exact room. And man, this is my first platinum plaque right here, so we brought it back.
Shout out to the pack.
You feel?
Yeah, it's so many things we touched on. Like you're great. You're awesome. I like talking to you. You give me a lot of inspiration. I was saying that too about your Instagram, your Twitter, all of your social media is very inspirational. And just even you talking about working with like younger producers, I respect that. Or even just giving them the conversation, because some people be real standoffish, just in the industry. You know how it is. But being able to give back, that's dope, and I commend you for that. But you did say one thing on your social media that resonated with me personally. If you can't support me or buy it, it really ain't worth it to you. What did you mean by that? I guess I would take it like you support your friends versus asking for a handout.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, a lot of times I just wake up, right? You know what I'm saying? And I promote, I advertise, I do a lot of things. And then I go through my my story. And sometimes I even look at the requests. I even forget to look at the requests, and you got like so many DMs coming in and whatnot of people who, you know, you haven't allowed yet. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go to the request screen. And like I see that, man, I need them, man. Send me them Johnson in the size. Oh, boy, fuck with your boy, man. Da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so much, oh, man, bro, send me them. Hey, put them in your car, man, so when I come to the studio, you can give them to me. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
What you
Like, bro,
think
like
this
what?
is?
Yeah, like my nigga, I ain't your daddy, my nigga. Like, nigga, you can go buy this shit, nigga. You can, man, it's up there at the store. You know what I'm saying? It's right there, 1770 High Mill Road, House of Fresh Brothers. Man, the store open. Man, you at the store? Nah, I ain't up there, but somebody up there. My workers up there. Fuck you need me up there for? Like, you know what I'm saying? It just be like, you know what I'm saying? If you gonna support this shit, then support the shit. If you ain't, then, man, go to Lennox.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Go wherever you want to go. You don't need no beats. Man, shit, fuck with me on the beats, man. I need some more. Bro, I got Beyonce in front of me. I got Drake in front of me. I got, man, Drum Squad Records in front of me. Like, I got 8 artists on the table, bro. I ain't even got time to even pay attention to what you talking about unless you coming with a bag.
Let's talk about the bag, because earlier you mentioned that you were selling the bass tapes for $100.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about coming home with like 10 stacks. You know, just a lot of money at such a young age. It seemed like you really knew your worth before even, you know, most people did. Even today, they selling beats online. Just the way that they're handling their business. How did you realize, or why did you realize your worth so early? Like, in terms of how much you were charging for your beats, how much you were charging to even, you know, do any of the business that you're doing.
Man, I came up under hustlers. My mama's like the #1 hustler. You know what I mean? And anything of value, it's worth something. You know what I mean? And knowing your value, she would always say that, know your value, baby. Don't go out here doing nothing for free. Don't go out here doing these things because people going to try to get you to do this and do this. So I always hear my mama voice in the back of my head because she been there, she did that. She was a hustler. Like, she raised me single parent mama. Like, my mom and my dad divorced when they had me. So my dad was over here with it and my mom was over here with it. My pop's in Orange Mound, mom in the Haven.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it's 2 complete different lifestyles going on. You know what I'm saying? And then being able to see that my dad really couldn't support me financially like that. Like, he's barely, like, musicians, you making $30,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? Then you picking up another 15 teaching. This for the whole year, 15,000. I'm like, damn, I got to get myself in a position where I can make a beat and sell that bitch for 15,000 off of 30 minutes of just an idea. Like, when I started making beats, I was like, damn, I can make something up here. I can come up with an idea and sell that idea for 10, 15. Even then, at that particular time, I'm 15, I sold 3 beats for $2,500 a beat. I'm like, damn, you know how long it'll take me working at McDonald's or working at Burger King or woo. So
To get that, yeah.
I was like, on to the entrepreneur game, like 15.
Yeah.
Early, like, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna create my own currency. I'm gonna print my own money with my brain. Anytime I ever needed money, I remember seeing my account being negative 30 goddamn thousand. And I was just like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Stomach dropped for a minute.
Yeah.
First thing you do when you nervous is what? Eat. You know what I'm saying? You gotta eat something. Because the stomach is, man, I'm too unbalanced. Let me drink some water. Let me eat. Shit. I remember going to this little diner close to the University of Memphis campus. And I ate some food, had a water, and just sat there and thought about some stuff right quick. And then I wrote it down like, damn, Drumma Boy, Memphis, Atlanta, beats. And I was just like, damn, like, what's next? This the day I found out I'm kicked out of University of Memphis. And I got up from that diner right there and drove to Atlanta, like right then. And the whole way to Atlanta, like, I'm just barbershop, beauty salon, Kroger, Lennox, everywhere. Nah, I had hollered at Markstar Graphics. I took a photo shoot with all my niggas from Memphis with some Got Beats shirts on. Got Beats, ? Like the Got Milk commercial was heavy, going heavy. So I did Got Beats with a question mark and printed flyers with Markstar Graphics. Julia Beverly had just moved to where Markstar used to be at. And, man, I just put them flyers everywhere I went with my number on it, 404 number. I still got the same 404 number.
That's crazy.
From them flyers. Got a call from Rocco. A week later, we did one song, the very first song we ever did. B-Room, Patchwerk. You just do you. I'ma do me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it just bam. It's just crazy, like, you know what I mean? Any way I could promote myself, any way I could get the name out there. Here go the number. I put my resume of all the songs I had did, Ballin' G, Scarface Never, 3-6 Mafia, Juicy J, all of the, you know what I mean? My whole credentials was on there. Stacking Paper, Jeezy, Jody Breeze, Get Your Gang Stone, Jody Breeze and Jeezy, out, you know what I mean? Everything, bam, right there. White girl flexing. So people could be like, damn, you produced that? Damn, you produced. Oh, man, I'm finna call that nigga right now. And my phone would just be ringing. Ooh, man, we need some pizza. Ooh, certain cats I did know, certain cats I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And like, it didn't matter who it was. I just wanted to work.
Yeah.
As long as you got the bread to pay me, I bet. Rocco brought me 10,000. We did I'ma Do Me. Then we did Tomorrow. Then he come back, say, man, I want you to do my whole album. Drop me a whole nother 100. Like, I got you 1.5 just out the deal. I'm getting 60 a week on shows. You know what I'm saying? So like, the guys be like thankful, man. You know what I'm saying? When you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it be like, it's like, I speak on this like short, but like during the Hurricane Katrina time, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a clash of the streets in a sense on like territories and whatnot. And you know what I'm saying? Tip, like, soon as he got out, Ready for Whatever. And I did the single What Up, What's Happening, but if you listen to Ready for Whatever, that's the first song we did when he got out. And I was one of his first visitors. Get approved, go see Tip. Man, I get to Tip house, he treated me like a king. Walking me through the house in the road, mom, fam, you know what I'm saying, the kids running around. Come on, man, this is my house, man. Come on to my studio. I played 30 beats, he picked out 30 beats.
Wow.
Or he picked out 27 out of the 30. And I end up with 4 songs on this man's album. You know what I'm saying? And I remember going to every album release. I'm Serious come out. I had met with Jason Jeter when I was 18. I'm Serious came out. I ain't on it. Next album come out. I ain't on it. I'm King come out. I ain't on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Urban Legend come out. I ain't on it. Just album after album after album after album. Like, man, I'm going to make me a Tip album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And end up on the album and Ready for Whatever, he's explaining in detail what he was going through. He had to change his verses 20 times. But this, like, to come through for somebody and to help deliver on, like, what they stressing about.
That's dope.
Rocco, like, man, I got to get out the street, bro. Like, we got to get up. I got to get up out of here, bro.
Yeah.
And to be able to deliver a song that can generate and take care of your family and put you in a position to be one of the top real estate agents, to be one of the head executive CEOs, you know what I mean? And just seeing what he did with Future and you know, I hate it ended up like that, but we all try to help each other. Like Future, Rocco, all us, we in the same circle.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And Future, my dog, like, all of these guys, like, you know, they know I'm in their corner and only try to, like, get them the best opportunity to be an successful rapper. 2 Chainz, he'll call me like, man, what you doing, Drum? I'm finna come through. And he ain't even want to drive to the south side. Man, I'm on the lean, I'm high, man. Give me a second. Let me cool down for a minute. Everybody know I'm right in the city. Cause we can't have you getting pulled over, getting locked up, getting there. Woo, 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 woo. Man, Drum, I'm finna call over there. He'll come sit on the couch, fall asleep, wake up. Hey, I can do this feature right quick. He rapped on like 20, 30 other niggas' beats before he even asked me for a beat. Bro, you can use my studio, whatever you need, bro, whenever you want cotton, boy, whatever.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Just doing what I can to get in. Like, man, you can rap on everybody else's beat, but that's a way for me to get in. Eventually, you're going to ask me for a beat. First song we do, Boo. I just call her Boo. I don't know her whole name. Keep it on the low, man. Followed by I'm Round, I'm getting it.
Good times, both those songs. I was so Atlanta going to DC.
Yeah.
I was listening to that every morning.
Yeah.
Like, so Atlanta. Now, so let's talk about you being such a businessman, too. You know, you working around all these hustlers. You are a hustler. You grew up, you know, birthed by a hustler, pretty much. So let's talk about you having the ventures outside of the music industry. You already talked about House of Fresh, which is located here, your storefront. Just, you know, creating that. Tell us more about that and how you were able to venture off outside of just producing beats. Because you have a production company too, or Is it considered a production company? Am I right?
What
A
I
drum
got?
squad or an entertainment company, rather?
Yeah, of course I got Drum Squad. I got an entertainment company, production company. We got
Right.
record label. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We got the clothing line. We got the
It's a
clothing
lot going
store.
on. You
Yeah,
got a lot going on. You got a
absolutely.
great team behind you. Of course, I spoke to your manager, Squeak, last year on the podcast, and he was super insightful. He was a great person. I'm sure you have just a really solid team behind you. But how do you make all of this possible with the store, with the production entertainment company?
I mean, it comes with the passion, man. Like you really gotta love what you do if you want to be successful in anything that you do. You know what I'm saying? Or get to like the highest tier or the highest level of what you do, so to speak. And for me, like I started getting free clothes 18, 19. Soon as I was a celebrity, soon as people started knowing Drumma Boy, like clothing lines would reach out. They want me to promote. They want me to wear the brands, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? I bumped into a cat named Tony Shelman, did a lot of stuff with Parrish, did a lot of stuff with Pele Pele, did a lot of stuff with Aniche, NYC. And you know, with Tony, he would just always have different brands. Man, I'm gonna send you this. I'm gonna send you this. Da da da. Da. And I was like a brand ambassador. Learned what a brand ambassador is, what he does, blah blah blah, and just moved around the world, rocking free clothes and promoting brands for people. And I was so successful that I would start getting calls to do the next level thing as far as just marketing, and now I'm getting paid to do certain things and come out to certain cities and doing different promos and whatnot. And then I started doing some stuff with LRG. I did some stuff with Drama with Young and Reckless. And I was like, man, I got a phone call from a guy from the people who did some stuff with Nike and Jordan that started a different brand called Public Trust. And they hit me out the blue like, man, like if you can be our brand ambassador, the only catch is we don't have funds for travel, so you got to get to New York on your own, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, man, these are people who involved with Nike and Jordan like that. I think I should take this chance. So I flew myself up, put myself in the room, did the photo shoot, whatnot. And as I'm talking to the owners and doing the actual shoot, I'm on set like, man, you know, if I go through this for y'all, y'all gonna have to agree to help me get my line off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just really just talking like, you know what I'm saying? They were like, you got some pictures? You got a lookbook? You got and I happen to have like my complete collection.
Oh, wow.
I already put together and designed how I wanted it, whatnot. Showed him the picture and he was like, oh man, let's do it. Da, da, da. So that's how even Fresh Family even came about. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Being able to take that opportunity and just the relationships and the factories and the warehouses and all of this that I'm getting just put on a plate. Like, why would you not take advantage of that?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then as well as all of the brands that I have relationships with, like Champion and Fila and Reebok, Adidas, Asics. Like I know the owners of Play Clothes and you know Artiziano and just all these different brands. Why not sell all your stuff at this store?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Because we
right.
ain't got nowhere to shop in Midtown Atlanta. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I shop everywhere. Like everybody in Atlanta know me. Everybody in Memphis, Chicago, whatever city I come to, that's the first thing we do when we touch down is shop, get clothes, be fresh, and support the fresh.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's my last name. So it's just really been, it's just really been just a natural moving billboard type of thing. But you know, I just felt like I was bigger than moving, and I felt like I was bigger than just a walk-in closet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm bigger than just free clothes. You know what I'm saying? So I started my line. I started the store, and it's just been a blessing to be able to deliver to the people. Seeing people come from Australia, from Japan, from Europe, from London, to see the House of Fresh.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? It's a blessing. You know what I mean? And to deliver the styles needed. You know, we bring in some of the top styles, all the top styles. We got Supreme, we got Palace. We're doing all of the new drops.
That's what's up.
And just seeing them kids light up when they come through the doors, like that's a blessing.
Absolutely. That is a blessing. I'm proud of you for that. And congrats on that business, your storefront. Make sure y'all go check out.
Absolutely.
House of
Men's,
Fresh.
women's, kids,
Y'all get it all
that. You know
y'all
what I'm
got
saying?
it all. So it's streetwear brands.
Yeah, I mean we got boutique. It's a boutique, so we got upper echelon brands as well as streetwear brands. We got skater brands, and we're doing custom garments and custom t-shirts and whatnot too.
Nice. All right. So let me ask you another question. After all the years in this business, starting off so young too, I have to say that. What motivates you to just keep going? Like, I know you're hungry. You still hungry today. But like, what do you think motivates you to keep going?
I think for me, the fact that I'm independent and that I've done it independent, like that's another difference. A lot of other producers, they sign deals, you know, they got labels backing them and pushing them and putting them in the forefront. And a lot of people feel like I should be bigger than what I am or known to the world more than what I am or whatnot. But it's a grind, you know what I mean? And like, you could take shortcuts or you could sign a label, you know what I'm saying, or sign to a particular label and whatnot. And you know what I'm saying, I've actually been considering a couple label opportunities, but only label deal opportunities that give me full control to run and move my unit how I've been moving my unit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because really the only thing is needed is that button push. You know what I mean? TV, film, commercials, things of that nature. But I enjoy grinding. I enjoy learning how to do it like Russell Simmons did it. You know what I mean? So as far as Russell Simmons, that's what I look up to him for the most, is starting his own label with one artist.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's where I'm at now, is branding an artist under Drum Squad. I've blown up artists for everybody else's label, and I feel like that's the only thing that I haven't done. And those are the biggest producers, the ones that brought in artists under their label.
Definitely.
So definitely focus on that.
All right. I'm wondering in terms of, because you talked about your tag and we didn't really get into it, and I've talked to a few producers about whether they feel it's necessary or, you know, if it adds to it. Of course, you're working with like really huge artists. You don't hear a Beyonce song with producer tags on it, or, you know, big, huge like pop songs and stuff. You don't really hear the producer tag. But in hip hop, we want to know like who made the beat. How important is that for you, even today, in terms of your tag and just getting your name out there as you were starting off? Was that an important factor for you?
Yeah, I mean, tags are cool. Like, I never really been just drawn to tags, you know what I'm saying? And I listen to this track, bitch, just because it was funny as hell, and it was just a way to draw you into the beat, you know what I mean? And when I first heard that, it was just like, yo, I gotta use this, you know what I mean? And it just kind of took off on its own without people even knowing still, like, it's Drumma Boy. Like, people still to this day don't know listen to this track, bitch, means Drumma Boy, you know what I mean? So I didn't really do it for that. I just did it because it was dope, you know, and I just do dope shit. And I changed my tag a lot. Like, I got a Yeah Boys, I got Drumma Boy tag, we got a Drumma Boy live tag, and then sometimes I do no tag just to throw you off.
Change it up a little bit.
You know what I mean?
That's what's up. Is there any particular thing in a Drumma Boy beat or production that people just know that it's Drumma Boy? Is there like, obviously the drums?
One of the biggest things people credit me for is the triplet kicks. It would be like this little triplet kit that I would always use, you know what I mean? But patterns, they been there. You know what I mean? We only repeating history of patterns. Patterns is the same patterns and the same patterns. It's just how creative you are on flipping and coming up with new things, you know what I mean? Different chords, different keys, different progressions that are original that nobody's ever heard of. So I always try to just do something different that ain't been done. And then when the imitation, you know, becomes like very heavily oversaturated, like now, like I'm on a complete different juice. I got a whole new juice, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So, you know what I mean?
Necessary.
But imitation is flattery.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So like when Michael Jackson did the moonwalk, the whole world did the moonwalk. Like he looked at the world like, wow. And that's how I'm looking at the world. Like when I go to Germany and I hear Drumma Boy type beat, I did a panel, I did a big convention in Russia, sold out. And it's crazy. Everybody play beats that sound exactly like mine. I'm in London and everybody playing beats that sound exactly like mine. Like, it's crazy. You go to Australia, you go to China, you hear Drumma Boy type beats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just to see the whole world on the South trap beat right now, like,
with that influence.
Yeah, because it's crazy. Like I literally remember when we started making beats like this. Like everybody was on crunk and pimping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Ball and G and just pimp, crunk, crunk, crunk. And we just created a whole new sound. It's still just like shocking to me, and it's a blessing at the same time.
It is, definitely. Do you feel pressures to keep creating hits?
Nah, hell nah. Hits come from the spirit, man. Like a lot of people don't even understand the power of the spirit, the power of your energy, and like how you can share and rub that off on other people. So that's what, like, I always, when artists come in the studio with me, I be like, man, what you feel like? What you feeling like? Man, I'm feeling like whatever you feeling like, man. All right, okay. What you feel like though, bro?
Yeah.
Like what you feel like, man? Well, shit, I'm really pissed off, man, about this. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now we get into the natural emotion, and now that I know that you pissed off, I can deliver to you what you gonna deliver the best.
Right.
Cause I can play some happy ass dun 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 dun, but
And
you
you
ain't
like,
even you
yeah.
like, bro, man, this nigga just ran off on my sister, man. I'm down there finna go da 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 woo woo. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you thinking. That's what you thinking about. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what you gotta put on the record. Because that's what's gonna be felt the most. They gonna feel the pain. They gonna feel the struggle. They gonna feel the story. And then they gonna goddamn feel sorry for your sister for what she went through. You know what I mean? So it's now you got the whole world drawn in. Soon as you get to telling stories, like the people who tell the stories the best got the biggest crowds. And I guarantee you, if you is in front of 200 or 300 or 1,000 people, the best storyteller is gonna get the majority of the crowd.
That's true. That's true. Take me back to when you were 15 years old and you had just witnessed the crowd moving along to your music.
15 years old, Complex. It's a spot in Memphis called the Complex. I don't think it's there now, but it was Wimbledon Complex Sports Center. And they they had tennis spots. They had like ballrooms where you could do parties and whatnot. We rented out one of the ballrooms and it could only hold 500 people. I had produced a whole project on this group named Trill. And I did all the beats. I was rapping on a couple of the songs, you know what I'm saying? And man, we did a show and it was like packed out 500. I'm 15, 10th grade in high school, you know what I'm saying? And like the whole complex packed out from this area called Bolton.
Okay.
So like all of like when I moved to Cordova, all of the suburbs of Memphis is like Cordova, Germantown, Bartlett, Bolton, Justin Timberlake's from Millington. So all of these are like surrounding areas like Forsyth, Alpharetta,
Right.
Conyers, you know what I'm saying? Just all these areas around Atlanta. And Bolton was one of the areas where all of these, like this particular group was from. You know what I'm saying? They all went to Bolton High School. And like, man, when I tell you they knew word for word for word, like I was like, damn, bro, like we put the tape out probably like a month or two before that, but we was just now getting our money up and getting around to doing our first show.
Right.
And it was just crazy seeing all of them folks like genuinely like juiced up and just lit, like, man, like every word. When you see somebody spitting your verse, spitting your word, like word for word, and they just juking and moving from side to side, you know what I'm saying? At that time, I think we was throwing balls. You know what I'm saying? And it just, like seeing the whole crowd of people rocking to your music, rocking to your beats, rocking to your lyrics, just gravitating to you to something that you came up with out your brain. I mixed and mastered the whole tape. I was like, bro, I'm in. I got these folks. I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm Drumma Boy, and like everywhere I'm going, I can't even explain it. Like, bro, every high school I'm walking in, there goes Drumma Boy, you know what I'm saying? They coming out to my music at the games and whatnot. And I also saw cheerleaders and pom squad teams like coming up with dances to my beats. So at 15, I'm seeing like the choreography side, you know what I'm saying? And just seeing just
dope.
You know what I'm saying, motivation from the music into the body, you know what I'm saying? And later on I started understanding like the science behind it, because they say we 70%, 80% made up of water, right? So if you play a beat and put a cup of water in front of the beat, it's gonna automatically vibrate. So if I play the right beat or the right tones for the people, they automatically gonna move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's it's just a science
behind it.
behind it.
Scientific on
Oh
me,
man,
Drumma.
listen, man, it's I forget what it's called, but it's a scientific word that I've forgotten.
I'm definitely not
But-
the person to ask about that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, I know we talked a little bit about the fact that you're not too fascinated with the accolades. You don't, not to say you don't care about it, but you know, it is what it is. The Grammys, the awards. But are you happy with Secret Genius? It's a new venture that Spotify just basically featured that shows like the producer and songwriter credits. Have you heard about it?
Nah, I haven't, but that's super cool. Definitely. I used to always say like when the transformation from CD to playlist or from CD to Apple Music, the producer would get excluded. And that's why we've gone so tag heavy. Just to like, all right, y'all ain't reading shit no way, so let me just put it in your ear.
Yeah.
Drumma Boy on the beat or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Mike Quill made it or whatever, like, so you know, because people don't read credits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's an amazing thing that we finally getting, you know, higher percentage rates, better royalty rates, you know what I'm saying? Secret Genius getting our name on the credits and whatnot. Super cool. They gonna find out who did it anyway.
That's real.
You
The
know
people that need to know now, right?
Yeah. So it's gonna come out. And the check come to the right spot all the time. So
that's all you care about. All right, my last question for you before we kind of wrap things up is, if you could participate in a producer beat battle right now, who would you want to face off with? It could be a new producer, old producer, somebody in your era, somebody which is still not relevant now, but anybody you
if
would
I could
want to face
battle
off
a
with.
producer right now, it would be, I would say between Quincy Jones and Dr. Dre. I gotta go for the best.
Got to.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Them the two greatest for me, and I got plenty of live band music for that ass.
Let's
You know
go.
what I'm saying? I'm working on a jazz album. I'm working on
Nice.
a couple different instrumentals, and I ain't nobody better than Quincy Jones.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And I am a musician. I still play clarinet. I got some tricks up my sleeve. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to get into that. Yeah. And that's really like what I wrote down, because it's crazy. Like I got everything written down in book from like what I'm gonna do from 10 to 20, from 20 to 30, from 30 to 40.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? And then that's like my 40 to 50 slot of like doing some whole other.
I respect
you know what
that.
I mean? So we'll get there like 15 years from now, man. We still got time for that.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see the journey then, for sure.
Absolutely.
That's what's up, that you got it written down and it's in stone. It's set in stone.
Oh yeah. And you can only be motivated from guys like Quincy, man, to see what he's done, you know, in his early career from 15 to 30.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And then from 30 to 50, look what he did. And then look what he did at 50. That's you know true. What I'm saying? Doing Thriller, and it's just like, man, it never stops. For producers, it never stops. You look at Max Martin, you know what I'm saying? Consistently killing it. You know what I'm saying? You look at Mike Dean, killing it. So, you know, age, it's man, I feel like I got 40, 50 more years ahead of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just
getting started.
Yeah.
That's what we said. We
Absolutely.
just getting started.
Absolutely.
I respect it. All right, so are there any artists you're eager to work with, or you're happy you've already started working with? I saw you were in the studio. I'm Retta, one of my favorite female rappers right now. I'm really on my female rap wave.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the women.
Man, everybody calling me, man. So it's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sonya Elise, I'm excited about her project. We just did a record with Lil Yachty.
That's what's up.
I mean, crazy energy. I'm working with this young girl, Alexis Lewis. Man, I can't even tell you too much. She just a phenomenal recording artist, R&B artist. We working with this artist named ALX out of the Bahamas, another female singer, recording artist, doing a lot of stuff with Dallas Austin that I'm excited about. And then I'm excited about my label, man, King and Demand, Scott King, L.I. the Great. We working with this artist, Matthew McQueen, Luke Whitney, who else? It's so many. Carlone, SYL. We working with Upstairs, this new artist. I can just keep going on. Yeah, man. I love working with the new artists. You know what I mean? Grown Boy Trap, he going crazy. Dope Boy, Free Band Gang, future artist out of out of Cleveland. He going crazy. Like, it's so many different artists.
That's good. That's good stuff. I'm excited to see you keep working. Before we get going, I also wanted to ask you, because you talked a little bit about just some key values of being like a good person and a successful person in the industry. There's certain things that you just have to have. One of those things is like keeping your word and staying true to what you say you're going to do and following through with that. Talk about that. Talk about what that means to you.
I mean, staying true and keeping your word, that's everything. Word is bond from the beginning, you know what I mean? And like where I come from, that's all we stand on. To me, that's why I've gotten where I've gotten in the industry and built what I've built You know what I'm saying? Which is an empire from nothing, and I own 100% of it. You know what I mean? And that comes from word and doing what I said I was gonna do. Like even with Jeezy, that situation coming through for him, he was like, man, you come through for me on this. Like, I got you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was his word.
Yeah.
I've delivered single after single after single. Anytime Jeezy called me, it's done.
Right.
It's sent. Rocco, same thing. Walker, Migos, I don't even know y'all. And the first song we do is Look at My Dad. You know what I'm saying? That's just, it goes off a word. If I say I'm going to do it, call me, I'm coming through.
Right.
It's times where I ain't want to get up out the bed, but I told you I was coming.
Right.
I could have canceled. I could have reneged, but then I wouldn't have had Shawty.
Definitely.
12:30 in the morning, I get up out the bed, go see Fiend, who wasn't a rapper at the time. This is his after career where he's a A&R, putting plays together. I'm thinking Fiend calling me for beats. He like, nah, just come through, just come through. I walk into a room of Atlantic Records, Aaron Bay Shook, Plies, you know what I mean, playing beats, and happen to play Shawty beat. You know what I mean? So it comes through. You still coming like you said you were, right? You know what I mean? Because then I could have made him look stupid, and now those opportunities are missed just because you ain't do what you said you was gonna do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I get excuses, I get things come up, but like I was never that dude. I remember one time going to Memphis, and Squeak was like, "Yo, you got a session with Jonte Austin at 7:00." I'm like, "Damn, Squeak, I'm on the way to Memphis. I'm like an hour from Memphis, which means I've been driving on the road for 4.5 hours already." But he talking about I got a session in like 3 hours. So I tell Squeak, like, as opposed to saying I can't make it, shit, I can't make it there by 7, but I could probably be there like by 10:30. Turn around. U-turn. I ain't even make it to Memphis. U-turned and drove back. So now I've been on the road 9.5 hours. Pulled back up at the studio. Jonte Austin was my session. First time I ever worked with Brian Michael Cox. Chris Hicks set up the session. My first publishing deal ever, Warner Chappell, that night.
Wow. Decisions.
Just off the word. You know what I mean? So your word is everything. And if you can't stand up for that, how people gonna stand up for you?
Yeah. Well, we talked about your management and your team, and you just even mentioned Squeak. He's been managing you for years. This your only manager, I assume?
Yeah, I mean, my only manager, the only other manager I could have had would have been Polo.
True.
And you know, that was before Polo was making beats. He was doing he was rapping with Jim Crow and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And I was always at Noontime Studio. And I would always see Squeak behind a computer, just sitting there with some glasses on, searching for something in the computer, reading something or watching TV. And I'm like, damn, this motherfucker sit there every goddamn day. You know what I mean? Like, what do? You doing something, you know what I'm saying? And when I seen him find a session for Luda, I think they lost the session, and Luda was like, man, I gotta have this song on my album, da-da-da-da. Squeak went through every session on the computer. It's probably like 1,000 sessions. You know, you got the Pro Tools sessions that's named Untitled. You got a number 1, a number 2. Sometimes the engineer forgets to name the session and whatnot, so you don't know what's what. You got to go through every session. He found that session.
Wow.
I said, I want that nigga on my team. Like, you know what I'm saying? For you to have that patience.
Yeah.
Because patience to me is another word that's like the most important part of the business. And you can move too soon and move for the wrong deal because it's happening faster. Everybody want it to happen right now. Man, I want to be on right now. I want to be like Drumma Boy right now. I want to be like Michael Jordan right now. I want to be like Meek Mill right now. I want to be like French Montana right now. They don't see all the dedication, all the grind, all of the smaller shows. I did shows in front of 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, 100 people, 200 people, 500 people, and watched it grow gradually. You know what I mean? And the gradual grind sometimes scares people. Or going 6 months, 8 months, no bread. You know what I mean? And making it through that stretch, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing where the money gonna come from, you know what I mean? And Squeak, like Polo was finna make beats. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I'm making beats, da-da-da. He did a deal with Interscope. And I was like, I just never wanted to sign to a producer. when I know this is what's in the back of your head. This is really what you want to do.
Right.
And Squeak didn't make beats, you know what I'm saying? And he was just always like reading something or trying to educate me on something. Or, man, go listen to this.
Right.
Tell me what you think. Go listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Go listen to this. And it was crazy because I was getting money in myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like I didn't get no money with Squeak for at least like a year and a half. He was managing Jody Breeze at the time.
Right.
So, you know, he on the road with Jody and doing that and whatnot. But he would always say, man, you need to be living in Atlanta. You need to be living in Atlanta. If you want to make it, man, you got to move here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, I know, but I'm in school. And this is when I'm going back and forth with school and college and whatnot. And I finally got kicked out. And during that 6-month period, I made that standing ovation placement. And that was the first check that we got. You know what I'm saying? The first check before that was Stacking Paper. So I can't forget Stacking Paper featuring Slim Thug. That was Jody Breeze. That was my first check I got with Squeak, Stacking Paper.
That's what's up.
And then started standing ovation.
That loyalty though. You never wavered. You had
Oh yeah, we still, man, cool today. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy, we don't even have paperwork. No paperwork. Like we just locked in. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, he brought me August Alsina. Man, I did no love. You know what I'm saying? You brought me Block ENT, Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying? Anything he bring, I knock it out the park. You know what I'm saying? And then I still bring my own things to the table, independently, whatnot. That's all me.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about having somebody in your corner who can execute what you need them to do, when you need them to do it, how you need them to do it. Hey, Squeak, here go this paperwork. Oh, man, it's done. People tell me all the time, oh, I love your manager. He knows how to speak. He's nice. He's humble. He sent me a thank you card, and I got the roses. Be like, damn, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? All the labels love Squeak. You know what I'm saying?
That's
you guys turn in y'all paperwork the next day. You get W-9s. We get signatures that are requested for contracts and whatnot. It's the next day. Some people's management, I hear, oh, man, we've sent this stuff to them 3 months, 4 months. We still haven't gotten it back. Your check's just sitting here waiting. You know what I mean? Or sometimes you can't get your check until the artist signs the agreement. You might have signed the agreement, but until the artist signs the agreement, you might not get your check. You know what I mean? So, you know, following up on things and calling people's managers and whatnot, I mean, like, just, I can't think of nothing that he hasn't done. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you need. Like, you need your manager in position to do everything possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And thinking of things that you're not thinking of.
Yeah.
Even times that I would have missed radio, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm out in the club, 4:30 in the morning. He right there knocking on the room. You know what I'm saying? He always got access to the room. So if I got to go in the room, wake him up, you know what I'm saying? Came in the room, splash water on my face, wake me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is to make sure that the job gets done. You know what I mean?
That's what you need.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. I wanted to ask you, you talked a little bit about Patchwerk and your relationship to Patchwerk. Obviously, you worked in this room, you worked in the B room, you've been all over the studio. I see you all the time from when I started working here. So it's evident that you have a relationship with us. Talk about that, and then also your master class that you have coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
That's dope. What is that going to entail? What you going to be doing there, and how can they go about being a part of it?
Yeah, Patchwerk just always been that go-to for, like, you know, the best of the best. You know what I mean? And, like, when I was first coming to Atlanta, this is, like, where people would come, or this was, like, a pit stop. You know what I mean? I got $200 in my pocket. I ain't got no hotel. I ain't got no room. I ain't got no place to stay. I just got beats. You know what I'm saying? And I come in the room, or I come through the studio and sit in through somebody else's session, or be in with Jazzy Faye. I remember watching Jazzy Faye get a box for like $15,000, and it was all 10s and 5s. You know what I'm saying? And watching him count all that shit, like, damn, boy, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 16, and you see Jazzy Faye getting a $15,000 box, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, this is where I'm going to be in like 3, 4 years, 5 years, you know what I'm saying? I remember seeing Nelly come through, you know what I mean? And I remember Kanye walking in, doing some stuff. Like, I met some of everybody here, you know what I mean? And just seeing where I've gotten now from that little kid who everybody was like, who is that? To, oh man, Drum, what's up, bro? I need you, bro. Woo, woo, woo. Like now I'm wanting to go to cats, you know what I'm saying? And cats coming to me like they was coming to Leslie.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a blessing, man. Like, any and everybody can be that fly on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And it just takes that sacrifice, that determination to get to where you want to be.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times I can see how easy it is for people to get envious. Mm-hmm. And I can see how easy it is for people to get jealous. You know what I mean? And the only difference is the ones who put in the work.
That's true.
That's the only difference. Because you can see it and be jealous and be envious. And you can lean towards the darker side, which is robbing me, waiting for me outside the building, or, you know what I mean, throwing salt, throwing dirt. Ah, man, why you working with Drum when you really need to be working with me?
Right.
And it just make you look even darker.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can work towards the light and be like, man, I'm going to go and perfect my craft. I'm going to ask Drumma Boy some questions. Hey, man, what kind of software you use, man? How you come up with that beat? Da-da-da-da-da, woo-da-woo-da-woo. Like, you know what I mean? I asked Jazzy, damn, what made you do that? What made you do this? I asked Toon, man, you think I can sit in with you and, man, just watch you make beats? Da-da-da-da-da.
Gotta be a student.
You know what I mean? And that's, to me, the biggest part of, like, success. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to, like, learn first or do shit. Everybody want to stunt, ball, kick it, drink what you drink, drive what you drive. Like, my nigga, I paid dues to get this shit, bro. Right. So that's why it's easy for me to just give you $100, give you $200, give you something for free. For what? Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody give me shit for free. And it worked out better. I'm glad niggas ain't give me shit for free. Cause then you start leaning on that crutch. Yeah. It's too many people leaning on crutches, man, and you ain't handicapped, bro. You healthy as a motherfucker. So for you healthy motherfuckers, man, get off your crutches, man.
That's true.
Quit crying, man. We don't cry wolf over here, man. You make it out of Memphis. My mama said you make it out of Memphis, you can make it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people hear that, you know what I'm saying? And I relate to these cities. Like, half of my family's from D.C., a lot of my family from Norfolk, Portsmouth, and like, I relate to Detroit. I relate to Oakland. I relate to D.C. And it's like D.C., Oakland, the Bay, and Memphis. Them like 4 cities you can't like floss. You can't fake. You can't go. You're not gonna move to the city as an out of towner and become the nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just those, like, the top pimp cities. You know what I'm saying? Detroit, Memphis. You had Stacks and Motown. Mm-hmm. Then out in the Bay, it was just different. It was just a different upbringing, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people that I know from them places, like, I relate to the quickest. Even Chicago, another pimp city, you know what I mean? But it was so slum. It was so hard for us coming up. You know what I mean? And we had to work for every piece, every dollar, everything, man. It ain't nothing gifted. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like I try to instill that what I seen to other people, you know what I'm saying? I try to share that vision. I try to share that portrait, you know what I mean? And paint that picture to give people that same inspiration to work as hard. Because a lot of people came up different, you know what I'm saying? Definitely. You might came up with a spoon in your mouth or whatever. It don't even matter, but I still got to show you the grind, show you, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to work for it.
For sure.
Got to. Well, I'm happy that I could have sat down and talked to you today. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, even though you have so many gems to share with us. We're excited for the masterclass this weekend. And hopefully you guys can visit patchwerk.com/events for I guess tickets for the master class this weekend. It's 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days, the 9th and the 10th, and the 10th and the 11th. I'm tripping. Saturday and Sunday.
I was like,
Yeah, but I'm excited. Like, the master class, I did the master class really just to, like, be present in the lives of today's producers and today's generation of producers, because it's needed, man. Definitely. Like, so many guys are like one step away from making a hit, or one step away from being with the artist they want to be with, or one step away from, you know, making some of your best music yet, you know what I mean? And it just takes, like, somebody approving that, or somebody stamping that, or somebody, like, you know what I mean, giving you one jewel or one gem to take your career to the next level. You know what I mean?
It's necessary. I'm happy to see a lot more people within, not just you, because we've been doing our workshops and a lot of other stuff, and just seeing people give those gems, that inspiration, because it's hard. We be like, oh, yeah, I'm tired.
For sure.
But you almost there, so.
And if I can help you make more than what you're making now, like that's really what I'm doing it for. A lot of producers,
True.
they making $200-300 a beat or $500 a beat or whatever, but it's something that you could do to take your game to $1,500, $2,500 a beat.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? $5,000 a beat just by switching up a few things or adding a few things to your Rolodex.
We all gonna eat. That's what this is about. So yeah, y'all definitely check out the masterclass this weekend and tell them where they can find you and stay updated with what you got going on.
Absolutely, man. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter at Drumma Boy Fresh. Check out the website, drummaboy.com. We all over, man. Google, Facebook, Drumma Boy Fresh. Definitely appreciate you, man. Look forward to seeing y'all the 10th and 11th. Anybody who just tuned in and just listening just for the hell of it, man, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you from, wherever you doing it, keep doing it. And do it with a smile.
Definitely.
You feel me?
He came in with a smile this morning. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes. And as always, you can find me at Sammy Approved on all social media and continue to follow the IdOMUSIC podcast. We're on Instagram as well. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Drumma.
Sonically superior.